Okay. Well, I do want to respect everybody's time, so I'll go ahead and get started. And if anybody joins, I'll just bring them on in. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining today's Compass Roundtable discussion. My name is Lauren, and I'm one of the customer success managers here at ClearDesk. And joining me today is Morgan, our Compass account executive, who's also available to answer any questions you may have, along with our special guest speaker, which I'll get into in a moment. Before we dive in, I just want to quickly walk through what we'll be covering today. First, we'll hear from our guest speaker, Adrienne, who's going to share her experience onboarding her remote team member and what's worked well for her. And then we'll leave time for open discussion, so feel free to jot down any questions that come up or jump in any time during the conversation if something stands out to you, or if you feel like just sharing your own experience. So all is welcome. Oh, does anybody else in? Nope. Okay. I would now like to introduce everybody to our guest speaker, Adrienne Dosses. She has been a ClearDesk Compass client of ours since December 2024, and she'll be able to share some tips and tricks that have worked well for her and her remote team member. Before I get into the questions, Adrienne, would you like to share a little bit about yourself and how long you've been a Compass agent for?
Sure, I've been with Compass for almost 3 years now. I specialize in the Pinellas County beaches of the Tampa Bay area.
Mhm.
It's a busy market because not only do we have the sales, but we have the rentals.
Mhm.
So it's a very diversified market.
Perfect. Well, let's dive into the questions now. Now, I know I've already prepared you, Adrienne, with some of the questions, but can you walk us through your onboarding process for your remote team member? How did you approach training, such as time spent together, screen sharing, shadowing, or any other tools you use to get them up to speed?
Well, I'm going to be really transparent and down to earth with this one
Okay.
because at first it was very intimidating because
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you, I don't have any kids and my patience is really thin
Hmm.
at times. So I didn't know how to go about this.
Yeah.
But the first thing is with my virtual assistant, his name is Stanley. Um, we, I wanted to form actually him as a team member. So we took away the virtual assistant title and took it as team member. Now
Hmm.
he had to know, basically, I kind of started from a raw foundation of he had to know everything, almost everything about me, how I work, and I wanted him to just shadow for 2 or 3 days. My bad habits, my good habits. But I just wanted him to see how I work. I also gave him a map of my area
Okay.
and I told him to study the specific farm that I have. And he did it, and I was really impressed. So he even knows down to the street names right now.
Wow.
Um, because my farm is only 3 miles long and a half a mile wide. So,
Mhm.
but so the I'd say all in all, it took a good 2 months to get him going. I know that's a little bit longer than other people have done. It's a lot of
Mhm.
patience. We would start the first week or two, we'd actually spend probably from 9 to lunchtime,
Okay.
just going over stuff for the first 2 weeks.
Just like screen
Um,
sharing or going on Zoom, hopping on Zoom.
we actually use Google Meet.
Okay.
It's
Perfect.
just easier. We can share files. We use the Google
Mhm.
platform.
Mhm.
Zoom, we just wanted it to be easy, not as formal. Um, I'd say he had to learn every single platform and not just Compass, but
Mhm.
all the other things, including Chat GPT,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, how I like my stuff. And he actually studied how I present my advertising on Facebook and Instagram, all the social media platforms. So I'd say then one of the challenges was uh, you can't just call and pick up the phone or he can't text.
Mhm.
That was the biggest challenge. And we're still trying to work that out with Google number, but we use the WhatsApp platform.
Okay. Okay.
And if I need to talk to him or show him something, I'm able to do that in the WhatsApp
Mm-hmm.
for a quick resource without getting on Google Meet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's maybe a question I have for you guys too. Is there a free platform for texting? Because we researched it, and where he's located, they, I guess, aren't privy to Google numbers
Mm,
in their
okay.
country.
Mhm.
But the language barrier, no problems.
Mm-hmm.
We set daily goals. We also tried not to make it too serious at times because we just kind of have our humor moment every day, just to lighten up the scenario because I want him to be a team member.
Exactly.
Um, the other thing is Stanley, uh, I'd say he got used to the whole scenario and felt comfortable. I want to say month 3. I know that seems long, but there was a lot of stuff to go over between the
Mm-hmm.
MLS and I mean, I could count probably 2 dozen platforms that he had to know by heart. And it was a little bit of trust. I was a little nervous because I'm a control freak. And that's why I needed an assistant because I really didn't have a life. I
Mm-hmm.
was just working from 7 in the morning until 11 at night. So um, I even think it's helped me with health, getting back into my workout routine and just I can
Yeah.
organize things a lot more easier because I have a clear mind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but trying to think, then the other, I'd say, what we've also done because I use Stanley not only for Compass, but I have a vacation rental business.
Mm-hmm.
And he helps me keep my finances organized in regards to both businesses, Compass and my property management business. I also trained him on QuickBooks. I actually didn't do
Oh.
that much training. He trained himself.
Oh, that's amazing.
Um, yeah, he's a go-getter. It's I never doubt him because he surprises me. Like for example, Compass works with the luxury website platform. And I said, Stanley, do you know anything about websites? He's like, actually, I do.
Yeah,
And I got him maintaining my luxury presence website
that's
and saving about
amazing.
$300 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what's really nice is that even though they may not have the experience, as long as, they're willing to at least learn from you or you give them the proper tools to set them up for success. I've seen a lot of great success stories from other clients and agents sharing that, they didn't have this experience, but I was able to set them up for success and they were able to do X, Y, and Z now. So yeah, and that's great that
Yeah.
he was even able to have that experience prior to.
Correct. And it's like he just doesn't know my compass. He automatically knows now, with all the stuff going on in the background, my daily regiment. So
Mm-hmm.
he's already prepared every day off my calendar to go, hey, Adrienne, don't forget, you got this coming up. I already prepared this, or, it's just he's a team member.
Mm-hmm.
And we laugh, we share, good times. I've already given him one bonus for the first quarter and working on his second bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I hope everybody has this kind of exposure with their virtual assistant. But if I'm in a time of need and I got an important deadline, he is willing to stay an extra hour to help
Oh,
me out. And I reward him for that because he doesn't have to.
yeah.
Um, when we're a little slow, I'll let him take a day off, paid day off, just to catch up on things. But he also helps me even with day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I know that a lot of our assistants don't expect anything, but they do truly appreciate any incentive, bonus, whatever it may be, given time off, PTO. They really do value that and appreciate that. So if anybody else, if, I know with the holidays coming up, 4th of July, if you want to also give your assistant time off, you're
Yeah,
more
it's
than
a bad.
welcome to do so. So,
Yeah. Um, I'd say one of the challenges sometimes that I have is in the Philippines, they experience some power outages.
Yeah.
mhm, yeah,
But to overcome that, Stanley was smart enough to get a battery backup
Mm.
yeah,
and he has a Wi-Fi backup.
yeah,
So I think that's important for your team member, virtual assistant to have the resources.
yeah.
And with those bonuses, he invests also. I think he recently got a printer to help out with keeping stuff organized and quick resources.
Mhm.
Um, he writes a lot of emails on my behalf.
Wow.
He has, because my email address is findhomesonthebeach@gmail. So he put his as stanley.findhomesonthebeach@gmail.
Well,
But when there's something that I can't get to and I'm in a rush or I'm driving, I don't want to phrase it incorrectly. So I'll just call him and say, hey, send this
yeah,
email
I'll
out for
do it.
me.
Perfect. And he's been able, I feel like since you guys are so like in sync with each other now, he knows how you speak. So like he can word it exactly how you would actually say it.
Correct. I gave him a huge challenge, actually. Now, I couldn't imagine this if I was in the Philippines. And speaking of the Philippines, like typically, I looked it up. I mean, they only make what, $500 a day on average over there. So any kind of reward or bonus is a huge plus for
Mhm.
them. And they got, Stanley got very excited. But in Indian Rocks Beach here, we have with our short-term rentals, there's a registration process. And this was something completely out of his wheelhouse that I just needed help on because I was losing my patience and I was getting frustrated. It was a list of like 10 line items of requisites needed for the application. He figured it out on his own. I don't know how he did it, but some of the documents and I was just amazed that they will figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's important that you have a decent. I upgraded my subscription to Chat GPT for him also.
Okay. And that's been
Um,
helping.
that helps, and I don't know for other Mac users, but the Google platform works best for us
Mhm.
because we can share files. It's not a problem. But yeah, now we're just working on trying to figure out if there's an option for him to text people.
Yeah. So I mean, the only platforms that I know, of course, WhatsApp, that's a free platform that you can talk internationally with your assistant. That's the platform that I always recommend for my clients to use with their assistant. You could also use Slack if you want to set them up with a dialer as well, like Ring Central or Dialpad. Of course, you have to pay for those platforms, but um, yeah, I don't know, Morgan, do you have any other recommendations or I don't
Yeah,
know?
the dial pad dialer is
Dialpad.
$25 a month. So it is worth it a lot of the time. There's plenty of voice over internet services out there. I don't know if there might be a better deal, but it's around there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted him to get used to how I operate first before we took that next big step. Because
Yeah.
having the ability to text my clients or,
Right.
vendors, that's huge. So I
Mhm.
wanted him to really get a firm understanding of how I work first.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share regarding your experience? Anything that we may have not touched yet that you would like to share?
Um, I was very lucky to find Stanley as my first person,
Mhm.
but be picky. And the thing is, tell Clear Desk your good habits, your bad habits. Like, don't be afraid to expose yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Hmm.
And I think, you kind of just have a little faith that, and that's what I did. I was very blunt with Lauren, almost too blunt on, my
No, I loved it.
expectations. But you just got to let your guard down
Hmm.
and let ClearDesk take, you know, their information and try to find your best fit. It's
Hmm.
not going to be perfect. You might go through a couple,
Hmm.
but be picky. But also give them time to learn. At first, Stanley was so shy.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think, did you ever talk with Stanley, Lauren?
Yeah, so I talked with him, I think a few times, of course, before we had the kickoff call, I was able to chat with him. He's a super nice guy. All of our assistants are, and I think what I've noticed is that sometimes it's, in the beginning stages for anybody. I mean, I'm the same way. It's hard to open up to somebody that you don't know, but if you're truly engaged with your assistant and you really make an effort to get to know them, even on a personal level, as we were, sharing you were sharing with me before, I think they really truly value that and they do begin to open up as long as you're taking and putting an effort into getting to know them.
Yeah. And when they know the background of how expenses intertwine with Canva and advertising and once they understand how it all works and the depth of work that we have to do, it gets easier for them. They
Hmm.
understand.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's amazing. I would love to now open up the conversation to everyone else. If anybody wants to ask a question, I've prepared a few questions just to kind of open up the conversation, get the discussion flowing. You are more than welcome to respond to one of these questions if you want to share your story or if you have questions for Morgan or Adrienne, please feel free to open up to us. So I'll let anybody take a few seconds to prepare their thoughts if they have any questions.
Mhm.
Anybody?
My question that you put on here I thought was interesting was, are there any tasks that your assistant handles that you didn't initially expect to delegate? So surprise tasks that you were like, oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
you can do this. I don't know if Adrienne, if you have one.
Website.
Right.
No, he could create a website. He
Yeah.
surprised me on that one. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to save all this money and I can make more websites and websites for each property. And,
Yeah.
Yep. There is a lot that we train on. Luxury presence is one of them. So
Mm-hmm.
right away they should be able to handle updates and changing listings, right? Putting in new listing to your website to make sure that's all fresh. Because as you know, a lot of people go there to double check, is this person active?
hmm yeah, he gets involved. I'm talking Google again, but my Google business page, even because I do property management, he even does some of my Airbnb listings.
Yeah.
Yep.
How else are you utilizing your time, Adrienne? I know you said that you have more time to exercise. I mean, you probably spend more time with family now. Is there anything else that you're like,
Yes,
wow, like I can actually do this now because I have Stanley?
vacation.
Vacation. Woohoo.
I'm leaving Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And I tell Stanley, hold the fort down. I have faith in you. And I can still talk to him wherever I'm at. So
Mm-hmm.
he goes, he'll text me and go, boss, this is very important. I need to talk to you.
That's
And,
great.
and then he goes, he'll let me know the sense of priorities. And he knows if it's not very important, he'll just email me so I can have my personal time.
Perfect.
Awesome.
I I have a I have a question. Adrian, I'm in California and just wondering, um, are you finding that Stanley works well with the Compass platform? Are you using it much? What are your
We
thoughts on that?
use Compass, and so I do both commercial and residential.
Okay.
So he's all intertwined with LoopNet.
Okay.
He uses multiple platforms. It's funny, he gives his opinion about Compass marketing going, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. I said, well, you do what looks best. And I have a little faith in him because he knows my expectations and he'll switch it up a little bit. But we all know the analytics with Compass marketing, it gives us better insight with the advertising, but it also gets, I guess, monotonous after a while. So we need to switch it
Yeah.
up. So that's where he goes into the other platforms.
The other platforms. Okay. Okay. So does he use it much at all then? And he
He
probably had
does.
training in the beginning when you hired him, right? The Compass platform,
Yeah,
marketing
I don't know if
or
I'm
any way for
supposed
your,
to. Well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to let Stanley do this, but he progressed so quickly, so fast, and was a perfectionist that I let him submit the transactions to finance.
yeah. Okay.
I think that's
Okay.
I
fine.
don't know if we're allowed to, but
Mm,
but
mm,
he's able to double check the math and we talk it over. A lot of the times I'm on the phone with him and while I'm running around doing other stuff and he's able to get some emails out that I forgot that I would think of when I'm driving or something like that too.
Cool.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Vacation rental wise, does he know your rentals so does he talk to the customers and saying, "Oh yeah, no, the soap is here," or anything like that?
Do I get charged more if I tell you I use them for vacation?
Of course not. It's yours.
um So yes, he does reply to my Airbnb guest.
Nice. Very cool.
Because again, that's analytics, and if you don't reply fast enough, um, so yes, he does do that. He doesn't know like the housekeepers and everything, but it's interesting. I'm going on vacation, and I told the housekeeper to download the WhatsApp so he can keep her straight with cleanings and stuff.
Awesome. Awesome.
So you got to be creative on your resource. And even then, they get to a better understanding of your business or businesses.
Hmm.
The other thing is, you know, what if you're an early bird person or if you're a late night, he is able to adjust to what you work best at. So we experimented with the starting at 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. So come to find out, after all that exploration, 9 a.m. works better because I have the to-do list more organized from than I would at 7 in the morning. Because everything that popped up at 8 o'clock in the morning, on a Monday,
Yeah.
I got it all organized how to tackle.
Yep.
Yeah, I find my assistant, she's working, Colleen, quite well with me as for reminders and things, but it would be nice if she could make phone calls. And that's what I find. And then we use WhatsApp quite a bit, and we like that works really well for us. So we can use the camera, we could not use the camera, but between that and email, we have a good communication. Um, and she's very helpful for whatever I need to get done. Sometimes it's reminders though. Sometimes she forgets what she was doing on Friday when Monday comes. She doesn't remember, but then other times she's helpful and she'll remind me of a client's birthday, which is really great. So yeah, I guess where I'm kind of in the same situation as you, Adrienne, when I'm looking for a way that she could make phone calls or even texting.
Yeah.
Just texting, yeah, just
Yeah,
texting.
because I think a lot of people here in LA use WhatsApp, but it's growing. But if more people would use WhatsApp, then she could text that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as what Morgan mentioned, dial pad is a great resource. I have dial pad. So Adrienne, when I was texting you the other day, that was off of my dial pad phone number.
Really?
So, and then, yeah, you can set your assistant up with dial pad. They can text, call, whatever you need. I definitely truly recommend using Dialpad. I'm sure there's other dialers out there too, like Ring Central and a few others, but truly Dialpad I would recommend.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any other questions for everybody? Anybody? We are at a minute here,
Is there a
so.
way that I could, Morgan, I haven't met you or didn't know that there was someone at Compass that was connected with ClearDesk. How would I reach out to you? What are your
I I am at ClearDesk. I'm the account executive here now.
Mhm.
Okay, so you're
So
at ClearDesk.
yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
but
account executive.
I can email you right after this.
Okay, all right, that would be great. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and truly thank you so much, Adrienne, for sharing your experience with Stanley. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me or Morgan. I will also send the recording after this call once it downloads so that you guys can have a copy of it. And yeah, I hope everybody has an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.
And thank you,
Thanks,
Adrienne, for your
Adrienne.
input. It's been very helpful for
Yeah,
me.
you're welcome. Yeah,
Yeah.
or you can even reach out to me. Feel free.
Okay. Yeah, I've got your contact information. Appreciate that. And you're in Tampa, right? You're in the
Yes,
Tampa,
ma'am.
Florida. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah.
There you go,
Yeah, your
referral
people are still
partners.
moving over. And my people are leaving.
Send those
Well, thank
referrals to
you.
Okay.
Adrienne.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Evelyn, I got one coming for you.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a referral program. In case anybody wanted to know about that. If they stay, your referral stays for 60 days. You get $1,000. So I know, Adrienne, you've sent over a few referrals, one that's, currently a client of ours. So just an idea I want to throw out there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know
That,
about that.
Yeah,
yeah, that, and it doesn't have to be a real estate business. I
doesn't
mean,
have to be. Nope, can be anybody.
Okay, right. Okay, good to keep in mind.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It was great seeing
thank
everyone.
you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
thanks.